What's up guys, Eugene's here. Today we're back again, and in this video we're going to be playing some Olaf in the jungle. So I know I've been posting a lot of Olaf on my channel lately, but I cannot emphasize enough how strong Olaf is, and he's probably one of the best champs to play in this meta, I'd say right now, just because he does well into so many of the different meta champs right now. And especially if you learn how to draft him right, he's just super broken. And he's probably the champ that I use to climb up the most through diamonds. So if you haven't watched my channel for a while, I stopped playing for a while and I just started playing again. So Olaf was a champ that I definitely played most to get through diamond to climb all the way to masters. So I would highly recommend picking up Olaf. And if you are new to Olaf, it definitely does take a while to pick him up. And oh, actually it looks like our dual lane is going to get a good kill here. Off to a good start, actually. Rare sight for sore eyes, I guess. Or what's the saying? Rare sight for sore. No, I'm not gonna even try. There's a saying for it though. But as I was saying, with Olaf, if you are new to Olaf, I would not pick him into any comp, just because some comps he's definitely very hard to play into. But if you pick him into comps that have low mobility and heavily rely on CC, then Olaf can definitely shine, no matter what. It's very hard to mess up Olaf into the right draft. But something that I want to point out that I didn't know, because they made this change a little bit ago, back when I didn't play, but starting off with Olaf's first ability actually gives you a faster clear than his third ability. So that was a mistake that I made in my past video or two with Olaf. So change that up this time, and I would make sure to start with my first ability if you can. But gonna be just farming up my 4 camps over here. Normally the clear that I like to do on Olaf is just red into Raptors, Wolves, Blue, and then Scuttle. And then I can kind of look for a gank. And I see Shyvana's bot side over there. So then I can kind of look for a gank if I see an opportunity, or I could just keep on farming up to level 5. So over here I don't see a good gank opportunity, so I just go back and farm up. I keep an eye on this lane because I see the minion wave is in a pretty favorable spot, so I see that they're starting up an engage over here. Keeping an eye over here, seeing if maybe I can make something happen. But it is very hard to gank a Riven at this stage of the game because, one, Riven has so many dashes in his kit, and I can't really burst down Riven that quickly. So going for this gank, a bit difficult, so I'm just going to dip out over here because he's just going to dash back underneath turret. So that's something that I do want to point out on Olaf also, is if you don't see a good gank opportunity, do not force it. And over there, Shyvana gets a good gank onto our dual lane over there. The clear that Shyvana did, you should kind of know what a Shyvana's clear is going to be. So over here, I'm seeing if Thresh can kind of kite him back to me, but they kind of just run to their own death. So I can't really do anything here now. They're just going to kite back to turret. I don't have level 5 yet, so that'd be a bit of a risky engage. Plus, Kassadin has full priority mid, so if we start up a fight around here, that's something to keep an eye on. If they start up a fight, well, I guess our mid is here too, but our ADC had just died, so we definitely didn't have numbers or positioning for that match. So now, or for that fight. So now I'm trying to see if I can force something out of this Kassadin. Kassadin. I'm not gonna full on commit just because I know they're just gonna ult away. So you kind of need to know what to expect over here. I see Shyvana going for a gank. I know he doesn't have ult over here, so actually I do full commit to this. So I try and track down their mid, able to pick that up, and now I see this Riven pop up, and unfortunately that's a very good rotate from their top lane, and I have to flash out. Our mid and top lane are coming, but it's just a little bit too late. Let's see if they can get some crowd control into this Riven. They're able to chain him down, and oh, nice, they're able to pick up that kill. That was a good rotate. They're able to match the rotate now. I don't know what this is, but they're going crazy, I guess. Misfortune going wild, and I'm just kind of farming up the jungle over here. I don't have ult or flash or anything to gap close, so I kind of just go and farm up. So now, I see Shyvana's kind of coming back. I go ahead and dip out. Gonna go back and just farm up normally. We're a little bit behind at this point, and ooh, looks like our mid's got to be a bit careful. That's a bit of a hard matchup for Veigar, just because Kassadin can just ult in and out of Veigar's cage, so bit of a scuffed matchup over there, honestly, but that's all right. But now I'm kind of keeping an eye on these lanes over here. I see this Riven's kind of pushed up, so I'm keeping an eye out to see if they start up a fight or anything. I see that Riven clearing up the ward over there. I'm pretty sure I don't even bother going for the gank because I know he has the ward over there, so instead I look for mid, seeing if Kassadin doesn't have warding in this bush over here, but looks like they do because they backed off perfectly. So Our duo lane going down again, I guess. There isn't too much I could do with this duo lane over here. It's a bit tough just because they're pushed up in this lane super, super far. So, like, turret diving Yuumi Draven, that's very, very tricky. And I would just be cautious of it, I'd say. Just because you don't have any dashes or anything on Olaf. But gonna go ahead and reset. I got my first item finally. I got my Trinity Force. And now I can look to see what's going on over here. That's Shyvana. I kind of want to actually contest the Herald. I know that Shyvana's going into Herald. Plus, they already ulted and they're half health. So I want to go for the Herald. My teammates want to go for the Dragon over here. So they go over there. I'm kind of like, I'm already at this Herald over here. Plus, I see the Shyvana super low. So I just go for this fight over here. And I try and track down the Shyvana over here. I kite back as much as I can. I'm trying to kite back to my Darius if I can. So trying to go for this fight, trying to get as much lifesteal as I can, and we are able to pick up 2 kills over here, which is good. So we're able to pick up 2 kills, plus my team was able to pick up the Dragon on their own. So unfortunately, I did not get the smite onto the Herald, so we're not able to pick that up. But overall, still pretty good. We got a bunch of kills plus the Dragon, and now I can go back and farm. And now I just burned my ult and everything, so waiting for my ult to come off cooldown, and then maybe I can look for a gank onto this bot lane over here. Seeing if I can make something happen, but this is kind of a hard 2v2 matchup just because Misfortune's behind also, so I would have to get a really good engage to actually be able to get that kill over there. So I see Thresh is kind of coming down. Going to see if I can make something happen, but unfortunately I see Shyvana actually flash in over there, so I actually kite all the way around, seeing if I can collapse behind Shyvana. I know Shyvana still has ult, so keep an eye on that. I see their mid jump in, able to delete him, and now with this Dragon over here, I ult out the Yuumi ult, but I still kind of go down over there, and you can kind of see this Draven's pretty fed. They have quite a lot of gold, and the Shyvana is actually pretty fed too. The Shyvana was 6-1 before that death, so bit of a rough start. We're a bit behind right now, but that is all right. The thing about Olaf is, like, even if your team falls behind on Olaf, I would say you're not completely useless if you pick him into the right comps. Like, I will say, if a big reason why I picked Olaf was just because they had some immobile champs. Like, Draven has some mobility, but, like, not the most. He doesn't have, like, a dash or a jump or anything like Tristana, kind of. Or, like Ezreal. And then, I guess, Shyvana, Riven, they have a little bit of mobility with movement speed and dashes, but they don't have, like, big dash abilities or big blinks or anything. So, and they rely on crowd control a lot, too. So, Olaf is pretty good into that. Because, like, Riven relies on a stun and knock up a lot. Shyvana just has slows and stuff, so now I'm kind of looking for a gank over here. I see this Riven's half health, and I know that the Shyvana just went down, so I'm looking to actually collapse around this. So I don't know why the Darius put a ward there, but I'm going in over here. And you can kind of see, like, what I mean by, like, Olaf ult is very, very good into Riven. Just because he can't really crowd control you up. It makes engages like that way, way easier, because he relies on his dashes, knockups, and stunts for a lot of healing. So that's very good, but now, gonna take this turret, gonna back off soon because their mid's actually missing, so gotta be a bit cautious of that. So I actually back off a bit early because I don't want their mid coming and killing me. So we're able to get a turret, and we're staying in this pretty well. Even though the pacing's kind of not on our side, we are still staying in this gold-wise, and I don't know what that Thresh was thinking with that hook, because he is going to die if he does that. Ooh, actually, wait, that Draven just trolled so hard. He could have killed that Thresh if he wanted to. If he would have just let his ult go out a little bit faster. Oh, a little bit further. But if you've been enjoying the content lately, make sure to like and subscribe, as I have definitely been trying to get back into YouTube more. I'm up to Masters, going to be at Grandmaster soon, so going to be getting in higher tier content for y'all for sure. But now I see the Shyvana over here. That's Darius goes for a huge engage over there. And I can't really chase that underneath turret, so I just leave it. But now I actually see the Yuumis by themselves, so I try and get as much damage. That's actually a nice little tip that, if you don't know, is you can actually use your third ability over walls. So if you didn't see, I was over here, and I third ability like the enemy over there, so you can for sure do that. But now I kind of got to back off over here. This Riven's just pushing top side, so gonna reset. You can see with the turrets there, it's very, very hard to like get good engages, and that's why like what I say is like Olaf is one of the most important champs to get first tier turrets with, just because with these turrets here, the enemy's just gonna fall back to that every single time. Whereas if this first tier turret was gone, then I could have kept on chasing him so far, and we could have so much more map priority. But as I was saying, I've been doing better with consistency. I want to be getting in some higher tier gameplay soon. So make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content. It definitely is pretty hard to get back into just because if you take a long break and try and get back into YouTube, it takes a while to kind of get back where you're used to. But now I'm kind of just taking this Herald over here. I see that they have that fight down, so I just focus on securing the objective. Able to pick that up, and overall, we're starting to come back in this match over here. We're still a decent amount a bit behind. This Draven's still quite an issue. And you can see, like, I can't chase down this Draven just because that turret's right there. Plus, Yumi's on him, so hard to do anything. But I'm actually going to rotate bot side because I see that their ADC and mid are both, or their ADC and support are both over there. So I kind of just, while they're defending mid, I go for this bot turret over here. Seeing if I can pick this up. I go and just use the Herald. Clear these minions out. And Olaf has very nice like wave clear. That's another thing that like I really like about him is it's pretty easy to push with him. So now able to get that turret over there. And now this dragon spawning. They're Draven. We have a really good ward over there. So we see he's not here. So we're able to pick this up. As long as Draven doesn't come through. We see Shyvana here. They get a good engage onto him. But now I'm trying to see if I can track down this Draven over here. He flashes out, so unfortunately I'm not able to follow up. Plus, that as I was saying, that turret is still there, so makes things significantly harder. But make sure to like and subscribe if y'all are enjoying the content, and definitely comment down below what y'all want to see more of. I want to definitely start right now. The reason why like you see so many of the same champs, like a lot of like Eve, Olaf, Wukong, Jin Zhao, is just because I want to climb as fast as I can to get like into higher tier Grandmaster again. So I'm kind of just playing the champs that I'm most comfortable with, but once I get higher up, then I will for sure, I'll for sure play more of other champs. One of the champs that I really want to play is Nautilus jungle. I think that would be a lot of fun, but I'm just having too much fun with Olaf right now. I can't get away. So now, just pushing out these waves over here, and really, it's very, very key. In games like this where you're kind of behind to just play at like a slow and smart pace. Like that's something that I really want to emphasize is like even though my team has been behind, like I've kind of been playing at my own pace, like going for fights that I want on my own terms, like opportunities that I see. A lot of times if you fall behind, like you can int very, very easily and just throw the entire game in any possibility of winning. And even though like it looks like we don't have a good possibility of winning, we definitely are a bit behind. So over here I know Kassadin's just gonna like ult out, so I try and follow the ult as much as I can. I know he's just going to keep on ulting over walls, so I try and predict where he's going to go. Able to get the kill onto him, and also able to pick up the Yumi. And look at that damage from that third ability. That's completely nasty. But, yep, so you're going to be seeing more champs soon. One of them that I do want to try is Nautilus jungle. I think that's a lot of fun. And if you know me, I love playing like tank bruisers, etc., stuff like that. So definitely my type of champ. And they're trying to push waves over here. I don't think a Veigar should be out there pushing that wave by themselves just because, honestly, that Riven could have killed him if he wanted to. He had everything up. And, yikes, looks like he's still chasing him. Gonna have to flash out over there. And now the Shyvana's kind of just running down this Thresh. Yeah, the Shyvana's gotten a decent amount of kills this game. But oh, that Veigar ult is huge. That Veigar ult is so strong. But over here, I'm kind of just pushing these waves over here. Trying to get as much gold as I can. Because the later you get into the game, in early game, to put into perspective kind of, in early game, a 2,000 gold differential is a lot. Because if both teams only have, if one team has 10,000 gold, the other team has 8,000 gold, that's a pretty big difference. But in the late game, 52,000 to 50,000, that's nowhere nearly as big a deal. So now again, I'm trying to track down this Kassadin over here. I'm trying to hold my stuff because I know they're going to keep on trying to ult out, so. With the Glorious, though, able to run him down pretty much, and there's really nothing he could do. He can't outdamage me or anything. But one thing that I mentioned earlier was, like, one thing with Olaf is if you fall a little bit behind, it's not necessarily game over, especially if you pick him into the right comps. So I'll say, like, honestly speaking, if you pick him into champs like Tristana or, like, I guess Veigar too, or not Veigar, Kassadin, or just other high mobility champs. What other high mobility champs are there? Anything with big dashes or like big movement speed that's hard to track down, essentially. In a case like that, if you hit ult, you're just gonna get bursted down before you can even kill anybody. But in a match, like if you're against like a Lux or like a Veigar or something along those lines, and as you can see, like they can't really do very much against me. They're going to get my GA down, but I just run to my teammates, and they should be able to save me here. So I was able to deal a decent amount of damage, but unfortunately not able to pick anything up. This Riven's going in for a pretty deep engage. Thankfully, they still had stasis, so able to pick that up, and now I'm kind of looking at this bottom turret over here. Definitely got to watch out for turrets. So, the build that I go on Olaf, usually just Trinity Force, Death Stance, and then tank. Usually I go Twin Guard, Guardian Angel, and then Sterix. And then for enchant, it kind of depends on the match. So usually Glorious is pretty good enchant, but if you feel like you don't need the extra movement speed, you can go Stoneplate. Stoneplate's very, very good, especially if the fights are lasting like a long time. Stoneplate's pretty good. If you just want to go utility, you can honestly just go Locket or whatever your team needs. So now able to run down that Siobhan over there. They didn't have ult up, so I knew that they didn't have any escape. That's kind of why I committed everything there. You'll see a lot of times, you just have to be able to know when you can commit everything and when you shouldn't. You have to kind of know what the enemy can use to escape. So in that case, I knew Shyvana no ult, so all that they can do is maybe flash out. But I can chase down a flash. But if they flash and ult, that would have been a waste of all my stuff. So in that case, I knew with them having no ult, I could for sure get that kill. But now, able to secure the dragon. And now you can see, we got all the dragons actually. It's pretty good. They kind of want to go for this Riven. That's a bit, yeah, you can see I didn't even try for that just because it's a Riven. They're just going to dash away. You kind of just have to be aware of that. And over here, Veigar, bit of a scuff spot. This Veigar definitely needs to watch out a bit because being caught out as a Veigar against like Riven, Draven, Shyvana, that's very, very risky. They kind of just need to sit in the backline and press ult. And that's like all that I ask from them. But now I'm kind of just playing around these corners. I'm not giving them good vision of me. And then when I see the opportunity, pretty much just ult and run them down. You can see how many abilities are going off. That is what I love. And me and Darius just completely destroyed that team fight with our AoE. And you can see like one of the big things about Olaf is the element of surprise. If you run up against an enemy face up, they're just going to kite you back because you're an Olaf. You don't have the best gap closing or anything. But if you play with the element of surprise, it's very, very huge on so many champs. That's something that a lot of people don't realize is if the enemy sees you coming, they're going to be prepared. But if you play around the corners, for instance, like in this case, I knew that they're rounding this corner, so I kind of hid in this section over here. And then once they rounded the corner, they wouldn't see me until they rounded the corner, and by then it's kind of too late, so then you can kind of just get a good engage. And over here, I wanted them to hold, so Misfortune just respawned, as you saw. The reason why I wasn't attacking the Baron was because I wanted to wait until Misfortune respawned to take the Baron. Just because that way Misfortune would get the Baron buff too. But you can see like now Misfortune doesn't even have the Baron buff. So unfortunately my teammates didn't understand my pings, but that's fine. It happens. It's solo queue, I guess. But none of the enemies were up or anything, so they wouldn't have been able to steal it. We could have just waited like 2 seconds to get Misfortune the Baron buff, but oh well, it happens. So now gonna keep on farming up, and I'm essentially almost full build over here now. Have a decent amount of gold, and just gonna be focusing on scuttles, pushing out these waves over here. That's really the main thing now. We need to get these waves pushing out with this Baron buff that we have. All our waves are kind of pushed back, so I see this Kessidin over here. Kind of just trying to run him down over here. And that Veigar ult is so broken in the late game. Playing with Veigars are so nice just because it doesn't even have to be a good Veigar player. Like, if they could just press ult and then use their cage and then press first ability plus ult, that's all they have to do. Even if they're a bit behind, it still starts to chunk in the late game, so you can kind of see there. Very, very nice, but now they're kind of trying to chase me down. I still have GA up, so there's 3 of them here, actually. I try and dish out as much damage as I can, and now this Veigar's over here. I just kite back towards my teammates into the Veigar cage. And now, able to run away. Look at that Veigar ult again. Just able to completely delete that person. And now, got half of my health back somehow. I honestly don't even really know how. But, as I was saying, you can't be running up to enemies face first like that. Like, you aren't going to be able to get many kills. Unless you have, like, very good gap closing. Unless you have, like, Flash or Glorious up or something, it's very, very difficult. Or unless you're super far ahead. But, that's Darius going in pretty crazy. Oh, if he would have pressed ult earlier. Okay, nice. He was able to pick that up. That's pretty good, though, but we should be able to end this game over here. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below. And that's going to be it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video.
Victory.